Good morning, everyone. You're watching Gardens and Graveyards. My name is Charisma, and today we are in the medicine garden on our property. And I have showed this area before, probably about 6 months ago. It goes from, this is the edge of our deck. You see? From our deck, and it goes all the way around in terraces that Spencer built me a few years ago. And 6 months ago, we did some pruning and harvesting. Today, more pruning, and I'm going to assess what can be divided, or if I could take any hardwood cuttings from any of these herbs to make more plants to either give away or to spread around the garden. Everything was looking really good until about 2 weeks ago, and we got a really, really cold night. I think it was really, really cold for our zone, which is a 9A, and we hit like 19, which is not very typical for our area. So you could see my licorice plant definitely took a big hit on that, and a few other plants as well. So I'm just going to be pruning off the dead, and just to see what kind of damage was done and what we're working with for this growing season, and weeding and fertilizing and just getting ready for spring. If I decide to do any cuttings or divisions, I'm going to do that in a different video, probably on a different day. Spencer and I have another project that we want to get done this afternoon. So this is just, it's early in the morning. It feels so good out here. It is definitely spring. It's warming up. So it's a perfect morning for me to just get out here by myself, zen out in the medicine garden, and get it cleaned up. So that's what we're going to do. Before we get started, I wanted to share with you what I have tool-wise for this project. Pretty dang simple. We have regular gloves. We have rose gloves because I have shrub roses in this medicine garden. I have a small, sharp digging tool in case I need to get any weeds or something like that up. Tea to keep me, relaxed and energized. I've got Pantone for the end, and then I have my trusty pruners for the majority of the project. And that's it. It's a pretty simple, straightforward project today. This project was so peaceful to do early in the morning as the birds were chirping, and the air was just perfect. There was no wind, there was no moisture. It was just really pleasant, and I felt super accomplished. I got a lot done. It's all weeded out. It looks fantastic. I had removed a lot of this nasturtium debris from the other side of the garden in the fall, so I was really surprised at how many feet of vine I was pulling out from underneath the deck in the shady part of this area. I was not expecting that at all. This was all self-seeded nasturtium from nasturtiums that I had in my basket year before last. They dropped their seeds into the garden below, and they grew all over the terrace last summer. I probably should have cleaned up this pineapple sage before the 19-degree weather came in because there wasn't very much green left on them, and I'm not sure if it'll come back. But it was really hard to get out there and cut it down before that because I was still seeing hummingbirds use their spent flowers. So sometimes being a gardener, you just have to make choices and sacrifices, and this time I may have sacrificed my sage. And then I cleaned up my shrub roses, which they don't need a lot of pruning, but I do prune them for crossing branches or any dead pieces in there. The last thing that I did was top dress everything with Plant Tone slow release fertilizer. That's probably all the fertilizer most of these plants are going to receive for the year. I don't typically do a fast release fertilizer on my herbs. All right, so that took about 2.5 hours to finish, and it is not perfect by any means, but now I have a very good idea of what's actually happening in this space. But you can see it just looks so much cleaner and so much like it can breathe. So it feels good, even though it's not perfect. So all I did on this Artemisia is cut it back a little bit, and then I saved some here, and I'm going to try to get some softwood cuttings off of it. I can't say that today. So I have that. The licorice plant pretty much looks like toast, but some of the lower stems are still bendy and flexible and not crispy. So I'm holding out hope. We'll see what happens. I might have to replace that one. The walking onions look fabulous. I just cleaned them out. All their yucky old pieces got taken out. Cut back the golden oregano, cut back the pineapple sage, did a little pruning on the shrub roses, of course weeded all through here, cut back the lemon thyme, weeded these thymes, weeded all this stuff. The lavender will have to be replaced this year. I did what I could to help it last year, but it's definitely done. I'm going to come back later this week and try to get some hardwood cuttings off of it, and I will share that process with you when that happens. So that will get removed. This is all going to get, there is a creeping oregano in here. We'll see how it does. It got cut back pretty drastically. But this top row is going to be completely dug out and replenished, and I'm going to plant new things up there. I'm just not satisfied with what is growing up there and how well it's growing, or not how well it's growing. As you know, I have rose campium everywhere. It looks good coming down, but this patch right here gets completely annihilated by slugs every single year, and it doesn't recover very well because of it. I try to do what I can, but it's time to just remove that patch and do something else with it. Something slugs don't love. Of course, we're going to be working underneath the deck this summer. I have some volunteer giant dandelions from the pink dandelion I had growing upstairs. So I'll probably dig those up, save the roots, and yeah. But this area is gonna get a whole project's gonna happen over there, and just show you what I have collected. I have some white sage growing that I pruned. These are just pruned pieces. I can they're not in the best shape, but they can still be bundled and burned for smudge sticks, just for my personal use. And then the Artemisia, like I said, I'm going to try to take some softwood cuttings, and then the rest of it I'll just dry and use. And then I have some horsetail coming up in the bed. I don't let it grow in the medicine bed. I do let it grow in other parts of my garden. It is invasive in this area, but it's also really great medicine. I use it in my toothpaste. I use it in one of my favorite tea blends. So, and this is exactly when you want to harvest it. This is like exactly how you want it to look when you harvest it. So I just save those and I'll dry them and use them. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and ring that bell so that you're notified every time we post a new video on this channel.